Acosta is a bilingual Latina writer and Iberian Studies scholar. Her work has or will appear in Radon Journal, Shoreline of Infinity, All Worlds Wayfare, and Space and Time. She is the author of Summoning Space Travelers, Hirayath Books, 2022, and Fourth Generation Chicana Unicorn, Dancing Girl Press, 2023. Hopefully, I at least got close on that pronunciation. But Angela, whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. I'm pleased to be here listening to all your wonderful short stories. So today I'll be reading my story, May We Be Named, from Somos en Escrito, the Latinx speculative literary magazine. If you're interested in reading this story in full, since the current published version is bilingual English-Spanish, I have a full English translation that's in the giveaway. Up to 5 people can receive PDFs of the full English version of the story if you're interested. May we be named. Humanity's voyagers always came on ships, back when Sol was the closest star and home stayed within the ecliptic. They came from the places the maps would no longer show, as star charts guided them towards lands where Terra would be but a distant memory. With skin colored from equatorial sunbeams and languages forged from centuries of cultural contact and strife, they were ready when the exodus finally occurred, and generation ships whisked them away across a sea wider than the Atlantic. Marcela tore her eyes from the screen that displayed the full weight of generations of shipborne ancestors when a thin stream of light coming from the hallway alerted her of Zamora's presence. Got gossip? Zamora asked, sauntering into the room like only a little sister could. Marcela relaxed her stiff shoulders and let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding in. She'd tracked enough of the Gamma lineage for this wake cycle. With the lights back on, she started reshuffling the notes she printed out on carbon copies that littered her desk. Yeah, turns out they meant to put you on the Calabaza ship and got the paperwork mixed up, Marcela smirked, waving one of her notes in the air. No way, you know I can't even cook beans right. I don't belong on a restaurant ship. Unless, I got to be the engineer and eat up all those delicacies. You wish, Marcela nudged Zamora with her elbow. So, made any progress today? 5 generations of lineage Gamma from 3 centuries ago found in the data sent by laser from the Pre-Romano ship. Not bad, Marcela shrugged and looked back at the data in front of her. She continued. It's strange, really. There seem to be fewer lineages than active ships. I can't find us in all of the data. Even Tia Flora gave up ages ago on this project. What do you mean with find us? I thought this was about the ancestry of the whole fleet. What do we have to do with anything? What does our ship's history matter? It means everything. I know I'm supposed to be collaborating on this project for the good of the fleet, but I've been doing some research on the side. But they're always telling us that we're all siblings and that race doesn't exist anymore, that we're all Homo sapiens. Somos de la raza, we are of the race cósmica, literalmente, the cosmic race, literally. Well, I already know, but it's a myth, one of those that came with the first rockets. Having just finished her own school lessons for the day, including a lecture on how the old ways no longer applied, Zamora was utterly perplexed. She perched herself on a free corner of Marcela's desk and took a closer look at the branches of the family tree, thinning out as they got closer to the present moment of year 534 of the Exodus. Look, Zamora, where is our family in this? Marcela zoomed into a patch only a few years removed from Zamora's birth in year 523. It doesn't matter. Humor me. Who cares? We do, all of us from the Arbolito. Look, before I crunched in the data for Gamma lineage, I already noticed some irregularities from the beginning. They're telling us we're doing something meaningful by putting together these lineages, that it's for the good of the fleet and our history. It's just busy work, Zamora. Fine. I don't know who all of our family is, but Marcela, I'm hungry. Can we please go to the mess hall now? I heard Tío Jose is making pupusas, and I want one that isn't spicy. All right, we're going, but I still want to learn more about this. Maybe I can bug Tia Flora about the genealogy research after dinner. Sure enough, Zamora piled her plate high with pupusas and corn, freshly made from their onboard hydroponics garden. Marcela, ever the apprehensive about her research, took a smaller portion of food, and joined the other kids and teenagers huddled around a game of dominoes made from scrap cardboard. Zamora enjoyed the camaraderie, but couldn't wait to finally talk to some adults. For some reason, they always stayed quiet about what they knew of their families, and though they praised her for her research, they never asked many questions or gave her any good leads. She always had to look elsewhere, like taking chances at asking the Pre-Romano ship with a complicated array of laser networks to reach them 5 light years away. Tia Flora was watching her favorite zero-G handball game and knitting. Approach with caution, Marcella thought to herself. She sat herself next to her only biological aunt and engaged in the requisite small talk. By the second half of the game, Marcella had steeled herself for the conversation. Tia, I've been doing a lot of work on the lineage, and I don't need to bore you with it, but, my dear, I'm glad you're doing that research project, but it doesn't interest me anymore. What are you doing? Hunting down lineage Omega or something? I'm working on lineage Gamma now, actually. I have 5 more generations worked out. In fact, I've already sorted out adopted and biological parents and have some diagrams for the research team I'm going to send by laser tomorrow. Marcella needed to stop herself before she lost sight of what she came to talk to her aunt about. Tia Flora had already focused back on the game, the clinking of the knitting needles in sync with the pace of the game. Sorry, force of habit. Tia Flora, I want you to tell me about us. Who are we? Where do those of us on the arbolito come from? Tia Flora finally perked up and cracked a smile. It took you 17 years to ask me that, eh? It took my friend Adriana over 20, and she quickly became uninterested again. Marcella relaxed in her chair and tucked herself into the story Tia Flora was inevitably going to launch into. Tia Flora switched into Spanish, as she was wont to do when talking about the past, but her tone of voice changed, and it was as if she saw herself somewhere else. The youth tout proudly the fact that the past was light minutes away and wholly unreachable, while elders grieved the chasm of memories. 30 years ago, Adriana asked me about our ancestors, she began, and despite the lack of information I had, I knew that I had to share it with anyone who shared this very same desire. I imagine even little Zamora knows how to recite the official history of who we are, right? Marcela smiled. She was just telling me about them based on what she's learning in school. Well, Adriana told me a phrase that will never leave my mind. She told me that she had enough of the histories of the Exodus and its tree branches, and that I don't want your tender history. Give me the truth. So I did. Tender history, huh? Is it though? Now that I really think about it, it's a fairy tale. I've always wondered about how the data we received on these family trees and why I could ever find myself on them. And to read the rest, you can go to my story on the Somos en Escrito site or sign up for the giveaway for the full English version. Thank you so much.